Phone line or both? Alright, cool. Alright. What's happening, people? It's your boy Yusuff back in the building for another episode of The Reaction. Alright, we're gonna wait for the chat to fill up a little bit. I wanna see some likes and some activity in the chat before I get into my topics. So if you're here, please leave a comment. Please like the stream. All right. Also taking calls. If you want to call in to chat with me about what I'm discussing today, it's 0203-8787-870. Did I say 87 more than 3 times? 0203-8787-870. And we're also having the discourse as well for a little group chat distance. But yeah, guys, back with the reaction. We'll be discussing the NBA finals, and I've got some interesting to me anyway, Arsenal chat to have as well. I want to do some end of season awards, but with a twist. So I'm interested to see if you guys agree with my end of season Arsenal awards or not. So yeah, man, should be a fun show. But if you're watching right now, please like, leave a comment. Miri, what are you saying? England watch along. When's the England game? Is that England game? The friendly, right? Is that tonight? I had no idea. So topic, we'll be talking about the NBA finals. It's currently 2-1 to the New York Knicks. Oh, Miri, no. There'll be no England watch along. I never knew England were even playing, to be fair. But thanks for letting me know. I'll check the lineup and maybe we can discuss the lineup. But no. And that even leads me to my first, not even topic, but just my first talking point, is that I'm not excited for the World Cup at all. And I'm not quite sure why. I'm not excited for the World Cup. But let's look at the England team then. Let's see what Tuchel has picked. Let's have a look, see. All right, so the England 11, all right, Pickford in goal, Konza, Nico O'Reilly, Declan Rice, John Stones, Elliot Anderson, Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Gordon, Madueke, and James. I don't like the way, why have they listed the names like this? Why is Reece James at the bottom as if he's the striker? So Pickford in goal, Konza and Stones in the middle, Nico O'Reilly at left back, Reece James at right back. We've got midfield of Rice and Elliot Anderson. Then we've got Jude in the 10, Gordon on the left and Madueke on the right. All right. That makes sense. But yeah, no, obviously I'm here, so I'm not watching the game, but I'll keep tabs on the score. But yeah, please guys, give me some likes, and some comments if you are in the building before we get started. But yeah, on the World Cup quickly, I'm not really sure why I'm not excited about it. I think you know what it is, because it's been such a long season with Arsenal, so much ups and downs. I feel like I'm kind of like fatigued a bit when it comes to football. So I'm a bit drained. Like Arsenal season was, obviously it ended well. Champions League final, still plaguing me, I can't lie. But yeah, I think I'm just a bit fatigued from football a little bit. So the fact that the World Cup it seemed to come around so fast, it's like, there's no real break. Then also, I feel like there's a lack, maybe because the World Cup's in America and all the controversy around, what's happening over there, ticket prices, people being denied entry, and just the general lack of enthusiasm I feel is in the air worldwide, to be fair. Well, I can't speak for worldwide, but especially in England, I don't feel like... And also, in any other case, I would have England down as potential winners, or maybe, in the pot as favourites, or one of the favourites. But even though the team Tuchel selected isn't bad, and some of the players he left off were left off for just reasons. I.e., Foden not having a great season at Man City, not having a great few years to be fair, and Palmer, not having a great season for Chelsea. Even though, some of his omissions were justified, it just feels like the team he picked, isn't good enough to win, right? So I think that's probably it as well. I think if he picked more of an exciting team, a team that included maybe one of Palmer or Foden, a team that didn't include, in my opinion, Jordan Henderson. I might be, and also a team that had, a fully fit and fully firing Saka. A team that doesn't have 4 Arsenal players who've had the longest season ever, and it's just more football. Are they going to be able to perform to their best abilities? Because everyone's tired, fatigued, and stuff. I'm just not feeling excited about it. But hopefully that changes. So we'll see. I want to start my topics, but I just want to know if we're here. Are we here in the building? If you're here, please leave a comment. Shout out to Miri in the building. Anyone else, please comment. Do you have to say anything? Just drop a emoji for me, whatever. Like as well. Brent, can I see the likes? I can't see. I think. Can you scroll down a tad, or am I seeing the whole thing? All right. So there's 3 people in the chat, but I don't see any likes. So I need at least 3 likes then. Yeah. If there's 3 people. Yeah. There you go, Brent. Can I get the whole? There you go. If there's 3 in the chat, I need 3 likes. I don't see any likes. Brent, is the like counter there? Or is it just because no one's liked anything yet? Oh, ain't there? Miri, set pace Miri then. There we go. All right, cool. I got one. All right, cool. I couldn't see it. All right, cool. The boss Miri's told me let's roll on with the show. He's tired of me procrastinating, so he's the boss. So I'm gonna start with Arsenal, then we'll get to the NBA, because I want the chat to fill up a bit more before I get into the main show. So with Arsenal, but everyone in the chat, 3 of you in the chat, please, I need you guys to contribute with what I'm about to say, just so I can get difference of opinions and we can kind of settle. So I want to do Arsenal end of season awards, but I want to do it with an NBA twist. Since this show is going to be half NBA, half football. So I want to give the NBA awards to the Arsenal players. All right. So just to run you through what those awards are, you've got MVP, you've got Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man of the Year, and Clutch Player of the Year. All right. Then I'm going to go into other awards like Goal of the Season, Assist of the Season, etc. Right. So I want to give you what my award is, and then please let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you would pick someone else for this actual award. All right. So we'll start with Arsenal's MVP of the year. That's the most valuable player. That's our best player of the season. Our best contributor. The person that really helped us get over the line. Our best performer. All right. I'm giving it to David Raya. In my opinion, David Raya was, and it's close, don't get me wrong, Declan Rice is there, Gabriel is there as well, but I'm giving Arsenal's MVP award this season to David Raya. I think he was immense for us. So many clutch saves that got us points, won us games and saved us. So, and we're going to get into what his best save, in my opinion, was, or a few of them, but my MVP of the year was David Raya. Next, let's go on to the Defensive Player of the Year. Before we go, what's Miri saying? 19 clean sheets. Yep. Half of the available only games. Yeah. Listen, clean sheet. He got the, what's it called? It's the Golden Glove, right? He got the Golden Glove 3 years in a row. So, big up David Raya. All right. So my Defensive Player of the Year, i.e., who I believe was Arsenal's best defender this year, right? this season, and that's going to Big Gabriel. Not only is he a beast on the defensive end, but he contributes offensively as well and has scored a handful of goals. He hasn't scored. He didn't score as many as he did last season, or even at the start of the season. But that's not his job anyway. But him scoring goals is a bonus. But as a defender, obviously him and Saliba are two titans in the middle. But I think this season, Gabriel just edges it for me. So I'm giving my Defensive Player of the Year award to Gabriel. All right, next up, we'll go to Rookie of the Year. All right, so Rookie of the Year is essentially the best young player. All right, it could be his second season, it could be his first season. Rookie's a rookie, right? There's no, I guess, age limit on him being a rookie, but age is definitely a factor with this award. But this award is, in my opinion, a bit self-explanatory. Hold on, let me say more things. 17 out of the 19 clean sheets were wins. I'm happy to hear you second that as well with Big Gabby. So my rookie of the year goes to Max Dalman. Obviously, the other contenders would be, Salmon. Those are only two, I guess, new players who came in. Obviously, if you look at last season, it would have been either MLS or Ethan Wanyeri. But this season, Max Dalman was clear, the rookie of the year for Arsenal. The youngest Premier League winner. Had played a handful of games as a sub, but had his moment against Everton where he came off the bench. Set up Gyökeres for the equaliser, and then scored that goal as well. No, so Miri, Hincapié and Calafiori don't qualify for Rookie of the Year, and that's mainly because of age. So remember, this is an NBA award, but in football terms. So in NBA, the Rookie of the Year is the player who came from, the draft. So either came from college or came from high school. And obviously Max, being that he's 16 or 15, how old is Max now? 16, right? He's still in school. So that qualifies him as a rookie. So rookie basically, rookie is a newbie, but in this context, rookie isn't just a newbie. Because if rookie's a newbie, then it's, Eze's up for the award, so is Madueke. But this award is specifically for young. It's like Young Player of the Year. It's basically like Young Player of the Year, essentially, right? Young Player of the Year is what Rookie of the Year is really. But there's a chance to give the other players an award too. But yeah, my Rookie of the Year goes to Max Dalman. All right, now this one is an interesting award next, and I'm interested to see what you guys think as well. So next award is the Most Improved Player. All right, so the player that you feel improved the most from last season to the current season. And despite how his season ended with injury, I feel like Timber was Arsenal's most improved player. And I want to hear if you guys agree or disagree and who you would give that award to, if not Timber. At the start of the season, I feel like he was our best player, to be fair. I feel like he was immense. Contributed with a few goals as well early on. And I thought he was doing well. And even though people really criticise him for his lack of offensive work, and they're like, if Ben White was playing, he would overlap, and he's got a good relationship with Saka. Quite as kept, Timber contributed to a few goals and assists this season, more than people seem to give him credit for some reason. Shout out to DC in the building. I feel like for some reason his offensive contributions have been overlooked because of the narrative that he isn't great offensively. But he scored, I think he scored like 3 goals, 1 or 2 assists, right? Miri, you think Calafiori is our most improved player? Mascara can't be most improved because this is Mascara's first season, so it can't be Mascara. It has to be someone who was here last season. So Calafiori qualifies as a nominee, but Mascara doesn't qualify because he's new. Calafiori is a shout. He's a shout. I feel like with Calafiori, because he's so in and out the team, you know what I mean, he's not consistent with his appearances, I'm going to give it to Timber over Calafiori because obviously availability, Timber's availability is way better than Calafiori. So I'm going to give most improved for Arsenal would be Calafiori for real. I hear you guys. This is an opinion based show, and I'm happy that you guys have a difference of opinion. To be fair, so we can kind of like debate. But I hear what you guys are saying. But for me, Timber gets most improved for me. But Calafiori is a good shout as well. But I feel like his injury record, his inconsistency, it demotes him a little bit for me. Whereas Timber, apart from obviously the end of the season, was pretty much available the whole entire season. And speaking of Timber as well, if you guys don't know, he's out the World Cup now. Due to the groin injury that plagued him at the end of the season, he was even though he appeared briefly in the final. Obviously, he wasn't fully fit, and I'm assuming he's had a setback while at the Dutch training camp, and now he's sadly out of the World Cup squad, and he's out the World Cup, which is a shame. I'm sad for Timber. Great player, but yeah, he's going to miss a World Cup, man. And yeah, his career since joining Arsenal has, even though he's played a lot of games and has been solid, he's had bad luck with injuries, man. Remember, he got injured for us in his first ever league game, and he was out for the whole entire season. He came back strong, and now he's out of the World Cup. So I feel for him. What's DC saying? It's hard to pick most improved player. Our levels haven't really dropped. I hear you, but you got to pick someone, right? It is tough. I think out of the awards that I've got, it probably was the hardest to pick, to be fair. But you know what it is? I feel like for me, because I remember I was having a conversation with my boy at the start of the season. I think maybe we were like 10 games in, and he asked me who I thought was Arsenal's best player in the season, and we both said Timber. Like as I said Timber, he said Timber, right? So I feel like Timber playing well hasn't really left my brain, and I think I'm stuck on Timber. But Calafiori definitely is a good shout as well. So next two, I'm excited to see what you guys think about the next two. So remember, people who are just tuning in, these are NBA awards, but I'm giving them to Arsenal players, right? So all these awards are NBA based, right? So that's the theme. Again, guys, if you're in the chat, please like and comment. So 6 man of the year, all right? So in basketball terms, obviously you've got your starting 5, right? You've got your starting 5 who are your starters, and your 6th man is normally the first player off the bench, to join the game. He's normally like the next player in line, right? So you've got your starting 5, then you've got your 6th man, right? How I've translated it into football, into Arsenal is, well, to be fair, the next 2 awards no. Let me even stop myself there. This player or this award is for someone who, comes off the bench. Obviously, if you're a 6th man, that means in football terms, you're on the bench, right? And you come off the bench and you contribute well, right? So, in my opinion, Arsenal's 6th man of the year is Gabriel Martinelli, all right? And DC, you got it right. And again, you're right on your second comment, mainly because of his contributions in the Champions League, for sure. Because in the league, he only scored 1 goal, and it's a weird one because the goal he scored in the league was massive. It was huge, but again, numbers don't lie, so it's only 1 goal. But in the Champions League, immense. I think he scored in like 5 straight games. I can't remember his final goal tally, but I think it was like 5 or 6, maybe 7. But yeah, Martinelli definitely is our 6th man of the year. If I'm to give this award to 2 players and say, you know what, Martinelli is the Champions League 6th man of the year, who's the Prem 6th man of the year, right? And it's kind of hard to say. You know what? Let's do this in the chat. Who do you guys? I haven't got this written down because this is new, right? Who do you think would be, if Martinelli is our mainly 6th man of the year based on his Champions League performances, who do you think is the 6th man in the Premier League. And it can't be someone who starts, because I know everyone's going to say Trossard, but if Trossard started most of the games, then he can't be sixth man of the year, right? He might be up for another award, but he's not sixth man. So who came off the bench the most for Arsenal and made a solid contribution? DC, you're right. I think it's Havertz too. Even though Havertz was injured for the most part of the season and, played a handful of games, he actually contributed quite well. For someone who didn't play that much, he scored some important goals in both the Champions League and the league, to be fair. When he came on, I would say, if I had to pick another person, I would say MLS as well. But for, obviously, MLS one is weird because he didn't play that much. He played a lot towards the end. And, he started. But because of his lack of game time at the beginning, I'm giving him a blight to nominate him as well. So I would definitely say Havertz, actually. Because remember, he scored the winning goal in the semis against Atletico? He scored the only goal against Leverkusen. Obviously, he scored in the final. Even though he started, it all contributes to his story, I guess. If Marino was about, it would be him. Marino, sixth man in the Prem. I hear it. The goal against Newcastle off the bench for sure was pivotal. But I think most of did Marino come off the bench for? The season's a bit of a blur now, man. He scored a couple goals in one particular game when we went the away kit, but I can't remember what that was. But I hear you. He's a shout as well. But yeah, DC, you hit the nail on the head, man. Let's give sixth man of the year for the Premiership to Havertz and Champions League to Gabriel Martinelli. All right, so this is the last player-based award. Then we got a bunch of other awards afterwards. So this is a real NBA award, by the way. So this is Clutch Player of the Year, right? Clutch Player of the Year, meaning a player that, can take the game by the scruff of the neck and get you important goals and assists when it matters, right? Can win you games in, the last second, the dying moments of games, comes up big with big goals, big assists, big plays in the big moments when your team needs them the most, right? And I'm giving the Clutch Player of the Year to Leandro Trossard. If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, let me know. Obviously, his biggest moment was the winner or the only goal against West Ham. Pivotal goal, and time again, he's come good with a goal when we need it. So I'm giving DC said Havertz or Eze for Clutch Player of the Year. Let me try and make a case for and against both of those players. Havertz, I hear it 1,000%. 1,000%. Eze, I think Eze's clutch... No, it is. I think we all might have a different opinion about what a clutch moment is. So, for example, right? Eze's assist to Martinelli against Man City, to me, is clutch. Eze's hat-trick against Tottenham, to me, isn't clutch. That's just him balling out in a game. But that's not a clutch moment, right? Eze's goal against Leverkusen, the screamer, that's a banger, but that isn't a clutch moment to me, right? So has Eze had many clutch moments? I think he's had, I would say, 3. The goal against Newcastle, the goal against Palace, and the assist for Man City. Havertz clutch moments, I would say, what goal was it, man? Champions League. What's Champions League goal, right? Was it against Atletico? When it was the Martinelli assist. Martinelli played the ball in from the left. Havertz, one touch, controlled it, and then slotted it in on the left. That was clutch. The penalty to win the game against his former team, Leverkusen, clutch as well. And then the Champions League final goal, is that a clutch moment? I guess so. You know what it is? Maybe I'm being too pedantic with what I mean by clutch. DC, you're saying against Mansfield, against Newcastle. You know what it is? Hear it this way, right? Like Max Dalman, he comes on when we need to win the game, right? Time's ticking. He comes on, gets a pre-assist, then scores, right? That's clutch. If Eze scores a banger against Mansfield when there's, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes left, and there's plenty of the game to go, is that a clutch moment? Or he just scored the first goal in a 2-0 win? You know what I'm trying to say? Against Newcastle, that was clutch because the game ended 1-0. You know, the stakes were high. We needed a win, and they tried that short corner, trick a couple times, never worked, and then it finally worked on the third attempt. That feels clutch to me, right? So maybe clutch is a hard thing to define. I feel like Trossard's goal was huge, and I'm trying to think, maybe I'm even bugging, and I'm giving Trossard all the credit because of that goal against West Ham. I'm trying to think of his other clutch moments, because I've listed quite a few for Eze and Havertz, but I'm trying to think of Trossard's other clutch moments. But yeah, again, maybe I'm just giving West Ham goal bias. I'm not sure, but if we're talking candidates, then for sure Eze, Havertz is in there, and Trossard's definitely in there as a. But I'm open to changing it. I think so far, this is the only award that I'm open to changing. So I don't mind, making it Havertz or Eze, to be fair. But maybe at the end we can. I'll read it through. Maybe we can change if we want to change, right? All right, cool. So those are the player awards. Quickly run through it again for those who are new. We're giving the MVP to David Raya, Defensive Player of the Year to Gabriel, Rookie of the Year to Max Dalman, Most Improved Player. I've picked Julian Timber, but a lot of the chat are saying Ricardo Calafiori. Not a bad shout. Sixth Man of the Year for Champions League, we're saying Gabriel Martinelli. And for the Prem, we said Havertz, right? I think we said Havertz. And then Clutch Player of the Year, I'm saying Trossard, but it feels like it might be an Eze or it might be a Havertz situation too. All right, now let's get on to a few other awards. So goal of the season. This is not. So NBA awards now are done. All right, so now this is just football, purely football. All right, goal of the season. And you guys tell me as well what your goals of the season are. My goal of the season is Eze against Leverkusen. Absolute screamer. Absolute screamer. Like the power he hit that with, the power, the accuracy, just the audacity, the swagger, the confidence. Like, did he? Was it a chest control? Was it a knee, or did he let the ball bounce? I don't remember, man. I just remember him pivoting, turning, and just levering that ball. The way it hit that net as well. So yeah, if I'm to throw in like my other nominees or my other picks, Zubamendi, the volley against Forest, Madueke's goal against Club Brugge. That goal made me laugh because see when he celebrated, he ran to the dugout to get, like, maybe he wanted to get praise from or hugs from Arteta. But Arteta was so busy talking to one of the coaching staff that everyone kind of aired Madueke when he came over, but I just always found that funny personally. Because he ran to the bench like to get full hugs and celebrations, but no one was giving him it. But that goal was big. And then I'm saying Trossard. What Trossard was it against Brentford? Outside of the box, top corner-ish. What else is there? I really like Eze's third goal against Tottenham. Gyökeres's goal against Tottenham as well. Martinelli's goal against Club Brugge also was nice. Yeah. For me, Eze against... Oh, also, sorry, Eze against Mansfield as well, actually. Was a banger. Eze against Mansfield. To be fair, Madueke's goal against Mansfield was also good. But, yeah, I'm saying Eze. Eze and Jesus saying Eze or Madueke, yeah. I'm saying Eze against Leverkusen. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. This one might cause a bit of debate in the chat. So, who is you guys' signing of the season? All right, so you've got Martin Zubimendi, Eberechi Eze, Nandi Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, Pierre Nkapie, and Christian Mosquera. Max Darman against Everton. Listen, G16, I'm not mad at it. That goal, in terms of the goal that created the best moment as opposed to the technical ability of the goal itself, all right? Everything that, all the intangibles around that goal, yeah, that was definitely the goal of the season in regards to the moment, right? For sure. You see, after that goal went in, even though there was a ton of games left, that's the goal that made me believe we were going to win the league. And I think, obviously, City's result as well, I think, played into our favour also. But as soon as that goal was done, I went onto Arsenal website and I bought my top for the parade. Like, literally. As soon as that game was done, I logged onto the Arsenal website and I bought my top for the parade because that was the day that I personally thought we were winning the league. And even though, you know, it was a bit topsy-turvy after that point, and, you know, especially against West Ham and just other results, but for me personally, that game was when I believed the league was ours. So yeah, but that's a good shout. All right, signing of the season. So at the start of the season, my signing of the season was Zubimendi. I say was because I've got a different answer now. I feel like in terms of all the new players, he slotted in the best. It was like, you know, he was here before. It was kind of a seamless transition. Hold on, DC, I can't lie, 20 goals first season. If you don't score them goals, we don't even Prem. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your comment on top. All right, well, let me tell you who my signing is and why, and then we'll get to what everyone else thinks. So, yeah, so Zubimendi was mine at the beginning. And then, obviously, he tailed off towards the end, whether it be fatigue, you know, people reporting homesickness and all other variables, but at the beginning of the season, he was definitely my signing. I feel like he was just, you know, he was a beast in the middle. All right, before I get into my pick, let me talk about what DC says. So DC's saying Gyökeres. I can't lie, 20 goals first season. If you don't score them goals, we don't win the Prem, and I can't see anyone scoring the goals he scored. Yeah, you're right. You know, if he don't score the 20 goals, we don't probably win the league. But you can say that for so many other things that so many other players have done. But I'm not even knocking that shout. That's a shout. That's definitely a good shout. And that shout might even be when it comes to numbers and stats and those type of variables, that might even be the signing of the season, right? And even in terms of to what Arsenal were missing, what we really needed going into the season, yada, 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 right? And my signing of the season, and you guys might disagree, is Eze. And the reason why it's Eze is because, obviously, I thought because of the player he is, the player he was last season, his expectation was huge, right? In terms of what we thought he would bring to our team on a consistent basis, right? And I feel like, before I even get into how he played on the pitch, I feel like his signing, and the first reason why I'm giving it to him is, his signing lifted the spirit of the club like I've never seen before. Like, I've never seen a signing And that's why I remember this is the signing of the season, right? So there's a lot of different variables that, in my opinion, contribute to him being that. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys correct me, right? I can't see or remember a signing that lifted the club like Eze did. Even me, I'm not gonna lie. Remember, I'm older than most of you lot, right? And I can't lie, I've never felt so excited about someone being signed to Arsenal before. And Eze is not Messi. Eze ain't Ronaldo. Eze ain't R9. But there was something about signing Eze that just felt great. Maybe it's because of his narrative, his story. You know, him being a Hale End boy who left the club at 13 and, you know, always kept that love for the club. Old interviews of him, you know, speaking well of Arsenal and, you know, letting me know he's an Arsenal fan and, you know, always wanting to come back to the club and, you know, the whole let it all work out. They played that. The marketing around his signing was A1, all right? And just the narrative, just the fairy tale story, right? His unveiling at Leeds, him coming out to the Emirates crowd, waving. It was such a fairy tale. And for the first time ever, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get an Arsenal shirt with a player on the back. I got bare Arsenal shirts. I've never in my life put anyone's name on the back of my shirt. Not Henri, not Vieira, not no one. And I was close to getting Eze. I didn't get it, but I was close because I was so gassed. And again, I'm a big fan of him as well as a player. So that's the first reason why I'm giving it to Eze. I feel like he lifted the spirit of the club like I've never seen before. Like Ozil, Sanchez, who else? Like I've never seen that before. And then the second reason why I'm giving it to him is because despite his inconsistencies, you know, he had great moments for us. Great moments. If it wasn't for him, we likely lose to Man City. He came off the bench and provided that assist to Martinelli. The hat-trick against Spurs, the team that tried to sign him. Like, what a story. Then to double down and get a brace against them as well. The only goal against Palace, that's 3 points. The only goal against Newcastle in the last 5 games, 3 points. The banger against Leverkusen, the banger against Macclesfield. You know, yes, he could have been more consistent. Yes, he didn't fit into Arteta's style of play straight away. You know, he's still even adapted now, right? But I think if you take what his signing meant to our fan base and then his magical moments and key moments, I feel like for me, he was the signing of the season, right? For those reasons. But I can't knock the Gyökeres shout because those are all valid reasons that DC has given. But I think when you tally up all what Eze signing meant to the club and even just how it happened, you know, it was looking like our business was done, right? And then Havertz gets injured. You know, there was an emergency meeting. Eze was about to go to Tottenham. He called Arteta to be like, you know, is there a chance I can come? Arteta told him, listen, we're going to have a meeting. I'll let you know. And it got done. Just the way it happened as well, man. The way it happened is just, you know what I mean? It just adds to the gravitas and the magic of the moment and his signing. So, excuse me. So for me, I'm giving it to Eze. Gyökeres is a great shout. You know, just to touch on him briefly. Lots of, you know, naysayers about, you know, is he the right fit? Is he technical enough? You know, does he fit to our style of play? Can the players play with him? He's got a bad touch. He's got a baggy touch. He's playing with Timberlands on. You know, despite all the, you know, negativity around his signing, you know, like DC said, 20 goals first season, won the league first season. This is his 3rd league title in a row. So, yeah, Gyökeres can be a great second shout. If I'm to tier the signings, in my opinion, you guys can obviously state yours if you want to list them as well. If I'm to tier them, just for me, I'm saying Eze number 1, Gyökeres 2, Zubi 3. I'm saying Nkapie 4. Also, is it Nkapie or Nkapie? Then I'm saying, have I said Zubi already? No. Let me start again. Eze, Gyökeres, Zubi. Yes, Zubi. Eze, Gyökeres, Zubi. Nkapie. Madueke. Mosquera. And then Kepa. Yeah. I think everyone contributed well in regards to squad depth. So everyone was needed. I feel like everyone, I guess, bar Kepa maybe, had a pivotal run where even just as a body, they were needed, right? So when Saka was injured and we needed a body, someone to take that, Madueke played well for a few games and, made that right wing his own. Gyökeres was able to hold the fort by himself for quite a while Jesus and Havertz were, on the way back from injury. Zubimendi again slotted in nicely like he's been there before. Mosquera, came on, contributed, covered that right back with injuries to Ben White and Timber. Nkapie, beast on the left-hand side, Calafiori out, injury after injury, MLS not favoured. So Kepa's the only one. I reckon David Raya could have played every single game this season. He could have played all the cup games and been fine. Obviously, I'm joking a little bit, but yeah, Kepa's the only one where I'm like, yeah, he's cool, but ultimately he lost us a cup. So those were that's my sign of the season. All right, cool. Let me quickly run through the rest and then we can get into some other stuff. So assists of the season. Eze against Man City. So my first 3 awards are all Eze. Eze goal of the season, Eze signing, and Eze assist. Is someone on the phone? Okay. Assist of the season, Eze, ball off the top to Martinelli to make it 1-1. My moment of the season, I spoke about earlier, Max Dalman's substitute appearance against Everton that won us the game. And then my save of the season, I want you guys to help me decide this, right? So please leave a comment, right? And also, guys, don't forget to like. So my save of the season from David Raya, nominees are the save from Minte for Brighton. He made a save against Aston Villa from John McGinn, point blank range. Like McGinn was literally on the goal line, and David Raya managed to save it. Richarlison off the line against Spurs, and then the save against Fernandes for West Ham. The same game that Havertz scored. Sorry, that Trossard scored. So yeah, I'm saying the Minte save against Brighton. What's going on, Chi? So yeah, that's my goal of the season. Sorry, save of the season. Chi, did you just come on the chat? If so, let me know. I want to quickly run through the awards I gave out, just so you're up to date. But yeah, guys, please like. If you want to call in, 0203-8787-870, or we can chat on the discourse. For anyone who's just joined us, we're going to get into the NBA in a minute, but we're just going through and doing some NBA-based awards to the Arsenal players. So just to quickly run through it for one last time for those who just joined. So I gave out and we discussed what NBA-based awards we would give to Arsenal players. So the MVP went to David Raya. The Defensive Player of the Year went to Gabriel. The Rookie of the Year went to Max Dalman. The Most Improved Player went to Jurrien Timber. The Sixth Man of the Year went to Martinelli. Obviously, you guys, gave your opinion as well, but this is just what I had written down. Clutch Player of the Year, I gave to Trossard. Goal of the Season, I gave to Eze versus Leverkusen. My signing of the season, I also gave it to Eze. My assist of the season, Eze to Martinelli against Man City. Moment of the season was Max Dalman's appearance against Everton with a goal and pre-assist. And then my save of the season was Minte David against Minte for Brighton. You thought MLS would get most improved player. MLS didn't play for the majority of the season. He didn't play for the majority of the season. And when he did play, he played, well, outstanding. But the sample size is too small to not give it to someone who contributed a lot more than MLS did. So I can't give it to MLS based off of games played. He didn't play enough to come before someone like Timber or other guys mentioned Calafiori as well. So yeah, I can't give it to MLS over them boys. All right, I see DC's already onto the NBA stuff. All right, let's go. All right, so with NBA, I just made this note, so we're just gonna go through the notes. All right, so we are currently game 4 tonight, actually. So yeah, game 4 tonight. So we've had 3 games already. The Knicks. This ain't the Knicks, but it's the colours. You get me? It's New York. It's the Mets. You know what I mean? But it's blue and orange. I had to come with a bit of blue and orange, a bit of New York today. So yeah, the Knicks are currently up 2-1 against the Spurs. Knicks took the first 2 games, in Texas against, at San Antonio's place, and then came home to MSG, and Spurs took it, man. So yeah, I'm gonna just rattle off my notes. So they're not gonna be in any type of order. So we're just gonna go with the flow. All right. So whatever I have written down, that's what we're gonna talk about first. So whatever. All right. So let's quickly go back to game 2, right? When Wemby threw the ball to Castle's back and had a turnover, right? So obviously Knicks took game 2, right? And the biggest talking point or narrative was that Spurs couldn't handle the pressure. It's a young team, and I feel like that narrative was summed up by what happened at the end of that game. Wemby got the ball. Everyone's saying he should have called timeout. Castle literally turns away from him and starts running. His back is completely turned, literally, and Wemby passes him the ball to his back. Brunson's literally right by Castle, gets the ball, it's a turnover. Right? I feel like that moment kind of summed up, the Spurs or, the narrative around them. They're a young team, the moment might be too big for them, they need to mature, they couldn't handle the pressure, and I feel like that moment summed it up. So yeah, Wemby doing that was insane. I actually couldn't believe that. Game 3, all right, the moment that I want to talk about first is, how the hell was Wemby getting away with mushing Jalen Brunson in that manner? He literally grabbed him by his head and just shoved him down. And that's a flagrant 2 if ever I saw one. And from what I recall, he didn't get nothing for that. Or maybe he is a flagrant 1. I don't know. There wasn't even a call on that. Brunson done well not to retaliate, because I would have been furious. Like literally 7 foot, 8 foot guy just from above just shoving me down that way, and I'm short as well, so not me, but Brunson's short. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. A bit out of character for Wemby as well. You can tell the frustration and the moment is kind of getting to him, but I'm kind of starting to dislike Wemby. I don't know why. I think whenever there's a player who's playing against the team that I want to win, anything that player does starts to really irritate me, and I start to form a disdain for that person. Hold on, what's DC saying? Bro, I'm serious. So many fouls in the paint and the Knicks got no calls. Yeah, to be fair, Mike Brown was even saying that, I can't remember the exact number, but he was saying in his post-match that the amount of free throws that the Spurs got compared to what the Knicks got was egregious. Like, the Knicks weren't getting no calls at all. Also, what's up with Cat, man? 0 points in the fourth quarter of all 3 games. What is up with that? What is up with that? All right. Again, I'm just going to go through my notes, whatever I wrote down. This is random, but this is just about Wemby. Should Wemby be allowed, just physically and ability-wise, considering his size, to shoot threes that well? And why isn't he in the paint more? For someone of that length, Brunson is 6'2". How tall are you? I'm 6'3.5". I've always said I'm 6'3", but I got measured recently and they said I was 6'4". So I'm gonna claim 6'3.5". But yeah, no, I know Brunson's not short in real life terms, but in NBA terms, he's not tall, right? I'm 6'3.5", 6'4", but I'm not in the NBA. I'm not tall, right? And Wemby is still like up above me, right? So, yeah, geez, that's the answer. It was too much to ask Cat to be good in 3 straight games. I hear you, but no points in the fourth quarter. Obviously, that depends on how many minutes he played in the fourth, but yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, this is a side comment, but yeah, Wemby's a freak of nature, basically, is the point I'm making. But yeah, no, Wemby's tall. Question. This is a question for Chi, actually. I know Chi might have an answer to this. Did Brunson's foul trouble in Game 3 cost the Knicks the game? I woke up and watched the second half of this game. I woke up randomly. I couldn't sleep. I just thought, you know what? Let me go watch the second half. So I watched the whole second half. Did Brunson's foul trouble cost them the game? I feel like the Knicks could have easily have taken Game 3. They only lost by a few points from what I recall, but sorry. I feel like Knicks could have easily taken Game 3, and the series would have been done. I think they missed the opportunity and let the Spurs back in. Brunson has some moments though. Remember that free he had? Not the free, sorry. The layup where he just took the contact. It was a tough, like, he was kind of on the side of it, threw the ball, and he looked at his hand like this. He had moments, but I think his foul trouble may have cost them the game. She says, I think Cat's poor performance was more important, and they came out a bit flat. They did. I didn't watch the first half. I only watched the second half. But yeah, I think the Knicks are gonna. Oh, I hope so. Anyway, I think the Knicks will win tonight. And then maybe close it out in 5. I don't know. You see, Game 3 was so pivotal because if the Spurs lose Game 3, it's done. You're 3-0 down. It's over. But if you win Game 3, you're back in it. Literally, you're back in it. Like that. Yesterday's game was the most. Well, when was it? Yesterday. That was the most important game so far. 100%. Because you lose that game, it's done. You win it, you're right back in it. I do think Knicks will win tonight, though. I'm going to stay up and watch that game, actually. I think Knicks will definitely win tonight. I still think Knicks are going to win the whole thing. But they've definitely given the Spurs some wind in their sails. Also, you see, in terms of like just where both teams are at, I'm looking at this Spurs team like the 07 Cleveland Cavaliers, led by a young LeBron James. Like, no one discredits LeBron for that first chip he lost because he was young. He took a team of nobodies to the final. And I'm not saying the Spurs are a team of nobodies, but the Spurs are young. They've got years ahead of them. Wemby's in his 3rd season. I think kind of like LeBron was in 07, his third or 4th season. So I don't think anyone will begrudge the Spurs for losing this, right? Because this is the start of maybe a dynasty, or the start of their run, or the start of their dominance in the league, and obviously the start of Wemby's what's going to be, or what should be, an illustrious career. But for the Knicks, who haven't been to the finals since '99, haven't won since the '70s, like this is looking like this is it. And remember, teams haven't really been repeating, so it's kind of like win now. Obviously, the Knicks are older than the Spurs. You know, this is kind of win now. So I feel like if Wemby loses this finals and goes on to win 3 or 4 or 5 rings, no one's going to care about the loss against the Knicks in 2026, right? But if the Knicks don't win, like you see what's happening in New York right now. Like New York is an absolute mad place right now, because we already know Knicks fans are crazy, like, and what this means to the city. I think this is a must-win. I can't really comprehend the Knicks not winning this. Did you see everyone is blaming Trump? Yes, I did, for coming to Game 3. I did see that. I think that's a cop-out. I hear it. Well, the first narrative I heard was it was tough to get into MSG because obviously the president's coming, you know, security and roadblocks and entrances and just, you know, surveillance. Like everything just became heightened, and it was a bit more difficult to get into the garden and to, you know, that's what I heard. And it created, I guess, a tense environment. I don't really believe in, you know, bad luck and jinxes. That's all witchcraft hoopla. So do I think, or would I say they lost because of Trump? No. You know, people lose on the court. People lose because they miss shots and, you know. But I think Trump being there might have created some type of environment, some type of atmosphere, some type of feel that, who knows, might have seeped into the players. But no, for the most part, I saw the narrative, but I don't really buy into it. I saw a few, I guess, commentators, reporters saying that they felt like Jalen Brunson, they were comparing obviously Jalen's shot attempts compared to Cat and OG, I believe, were the two, and saying that I think it was even Stephen A who said this, that they felt like Jalen Brunson was playing for the MVP. Like maybe in his mind, you know, they were going to win that game regardless, and he just wanted to stake a claim for MVP, and that's why he took so many shots and tried to kind of like win the game by himself. Again, I didn't watch the first half, so I didn't really see that with my own eyes, and obviously he was in foul trouble when I was watching, so I didn't really see, you know, Jalen Brunson trying to win MVP by, you know, taking a bunch of shots. But that's some of the narrative that I heard as well. Also, before I even carry on, I'm gonna watch. I'm not sure. Brent, can I mention this here? The watch thing. Okay, Brent's not in the control room. If you guys if you want someone to watch Game 5, I'm gonna be watching the Game 5 here. So if you guys, I know it's late. It's Saturday night, but obviously Sunday morning. So if you guys want to watch, anyone wants to come and watch Game 5, hopefully the Knicks are up 3-1, and it's a closeout game. So if anyone wants to watch Game 5 here, hit me up, or just come down. Just come down. You guys know where this is. If not, you know, hit me up and I'll send you the address. So yeah, Game 5. I'm gonna put watch party in quotation marks because it's not a party, but yeah, if anyone wants to watch Game 5 here with us, come down on Sunday, 1:30 a.m. I believe the game might start by 2. So yeah, let's do that if you guys want to do that. But yeah, all right, what else about the game? Don't forget to like, guys. Like it up. I'm trying to remember the game exactly. What else happened? Any other big talking points? Yeah, Chi, yeah, come down, man. Come down. It's actually my birthday as well, actually, funny enough. Not that this is a birthday celebration, but it's actually my birthday on the Sunday, so, you know, a double reason for me to stay up and watch the game, I guess. Hopefully if Knicks can win it on my birthday, thumbs up. All right, what else about the game, man? All right, I can't remember the game too tough, so I'll just talk about other things around the game. I feel like if they're to win game 4, Cat needs to do more. Also, quiet as kept as well. I'm sticking it to Wemby. If I'm someone like you can't shove my player like that. Like next game, I'm doing something to Wemby, man. I'm elbowing him in the chest or whatever. Like, also, I don't even like the way the players that should have turned into a little bit of a kerfuffle, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Other players should have ran towards Wembley. It should have been a little bit of a scuffle because you can't just shove my man like that. That's insane. That's actually insane. Yeah, Brunson needs to, just be Brunson, take care of the ball better. Mikal Bridges didn't particularly play well actually either. I don't remember his box score, but it wasn't great. Yeah, I just think the players need to just raise their game. I don't want to overdo it with fake analysis, but just come out and playing better. Just come out and play better. Seize the moment, right? Understand that in my opinion, you're a better team. In my opinion, you're older, you're more experienced, and you should want this more as well. Like, you see, when it comes to like intangibles, like just desire, like the Knicks should want this way more than the Spurs do. The Spurs are young, man. Like, they're a young team. So Knicks in my opinion, Knicks got to win. If Spurs win and it's 2-2, all bets are off. I don't know where this is going. I'll be honest with you. If it's 2-2, I don't know where this is going. I can't call it. Because at 2-0, to me, this could have ended as a sweep, right? At 2-2, are we calling Knicks bottlers, basically? Are we putting Arsenal titles on the Knicks? Are we calling them? Yeah, DC, pull up, man. Pull up. It's my birthday. Yeah. But Knicks should win. Let me bring up the box scores so we can have a little look and dissect this. Knicks box score, game 3. What was it? It was 115 to 111. All right, player stats. OG had 28, Hart 16, Towns 11. Bridges had 2 points. That's what I'm saying. In 29 minutes, Chi. That's diabolical. 2 points in 29 minutes. 1 for 5, 0 for 3, 3-point attempts. Yeah, he was just running around there like a headless chicken, bro. If you played 29 minutes and you only had 5 field attempts, yeah, he wasn't doing much. Did he even have any assists? 2 assists. Yeah, Bridges was just running around. He was what they say? He was getting cardio in. He was getting cardio in. No one has won 2 road games in a row and lost a ring. So it would count as a slight bottle. Yeah, within 2 road games, I think it being 2 road games is definitely, a massive factor to why the Knicks can't throw this away. But yeah, Bridges played terribly. Brunson had to go, well, yeah, this is speaking to, the narrative about Brunson. So let's look at Brunson. Brunson had 32 points in 32 minutes, right? He had 25 field goal attempts compared to Cat's 10, compared to Bridges 5, compared to Hart's, 10. The closest person was OG with 13. So Brunson was definitely, like he is the man for the Knicks. But he was 11 for 25 from the field. He was 3 for 5 for 3-point attempts. Who else contributed? Clarkson, Gave him 10 points off the bench. That's not bad in 13 minutes. That ain't bad at all. Alvarado gave him 4 points. My man Shammer gave him 3. Robinson gave him 5. So yeah, I think if I'm calling that a scapegoat, Bridges is a scapegoat for sure. For sure. You can't play 29 minutes and score 2 points. They only lost by 3. You know what I mean? They only lost by 3. Oh shit, Brent sent me the link to this. Oh God. Brent, you sent me the link. I forgot to post it. Anyway, it's too late. Yeah, lost by 3. All right, let's look at the Spurs. You know what? Wemby was getting a lot of credit for his score. I never even felt the same, but yeah, he's the third player, I believe. I can't remember. I think it's at a certain age to get 30. Well, he got 32 points, but 35 and 5, right? Over 35 and 5. He got 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. I believe it's based on his age. He's the third youngest player to record a 35 and 5, essentially, in a playoff game. For some reason, I didn't walk away from that game thinking, oh yeah, Wemby had a historic game here, but okay. All right, so Spurs, yeah, Wemby 32 points, Castle 23, Vassell 11, Champagny, is that his name? Champagny 12, Harper got 13. So yeah, it's only him, Magic, Kobe. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's the same stat I saw. Same stat that I saw. But I don't know. Maybe it's based on high expectation. I don't find the 8 rebounds and 6 assists impressive. Maybe because it's Wemby. 8 rebounds for Wemby is baby food, right? It is baby food. 8 rebounds for Wemby is nothing. He just stands there and just takes the ball off the rim. But in you guys' opinion, who's sorry, Thames, you've missed the football chat, man. But we can get back to a little bit in a second. But who do you guys think's taking game 4 tonight? You saying Spurs making it 2-2, or do you think the Knicks are going up 3-1? Second game at the Garden. Trump said, or not him, but the report is Trump isn't attending tonight. So no Donald Trump, no, I guess, hoodoo, no curse, no jinx. So also, are you guys seeing what's happening outside of the Garden? There's a video I saw today of a Spurs fan getting absolutely just mobbed and attacked. I'm not sure if he threw the first punch, but Spurs fans walking down, Manhattan or wherever it was. And I'm not sure. I think he walked into the crowd or whatever. I'm not sure if he swung at someone, but he got beat up bad by just bare people. I'm like, New Yorkers need to relax, man. Chi says, I think Knicks need this, so should take it. Yeah, Knicks have to win this. I'm telling you now. I know obviously, I'm a Knicks fan as well, but I just feel like just for basketball, the Knicks just have to win this. And especially going up 2-0, they cannot lose this game. That's why I got to stay up to watch this game, because I have to see this for myself. Yeah. You know what, Chi, that might even be a different fan with a shirt rip-off, but it might be the same one. But cause I think I saw that video also. There might be 2 different instances, but yeah, New York fans are crazy. New York fans are crazy. But they need to calm down. They really need to calm down. But Knicks must win. It's absolutely pivotal. If this series goes 2-2, meltdown, absolute meltdown. Stephen A. meltdown. New York's fans meltdown. It's going to melt down. But yeah, I'm still saying Knicks in 6. Hopefully Knicks in 5. Yeah, New York fans are mad. New York fans are absolutely crazy. The funniest, this is not even just New York specific, but basketball. You guys see the content where the guy goes up to fans and he'll use, I guess, random celebrities' real names, and he'll say to the fan, who do you prefer out of? Let's just say he used, Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z. So he'll go, who do you prefer, or who's a better player out of Calvin Brodus and Sean Carter? And they'll be like, Brodus. They'll be like, why Brodus? He was a dog, or whatever. But he's talking about Snoop Dogg, but because they're trying to pretend that they're, fans of knowledge or knowledgeable fans, they pretend that they know who the player is. And then there's a particular Knick fan you must have seen this guy, this black guy, kind of like chubby guy. Whenever the guy asks him the question, he always says, like he always shouts and says, or just say it's Snoop Dogg, for example. He'll be like, Snoop Dogg is not a Knicks player. He's a rapper. But the ones who pretend are the funniest. Like literally, he'll go up to them and he'll use like I don't know, the ones I've seen. He'll use I Show Speed and who else? Just any random celebrity you can think of, right? And the reason why he used that Speed is because what's Speed's real name? I think it's Darren. Speed's real name is Darren Hawkins Jr., I think. And then he'll use another name. And because Speed's name sounds like an athlete, they'll be like, yeah, Hawkins Jr. And they'll be like, oh, why? The way he played defense, I'm like, he's not a real player. But it's like, why, as a fan, why are you pretending that you know who these people are? Just say, I've never heard of that person before. You can't. I just find that content is hilarious. Sorry. They're not Arsenal fans as well. That shit is too funny, man. Excuse my language. No, it's so funny, man. And also, I feel like because I know not every celebrity name, but I know a lot of celebrity names, I guess. So when I hear the name, I'm like, don't they know that that's so-and-so's name? No. The one that I don't get is when the same guy, he uses Drake's name a lot. So he'll be like, oh yeah, who do you think who was a better player? Audrey Graham. Did I say Audrey? Goddamn. Aubrey Graham or, I Show Speed, Aubrey Graham or Darren Hawkins Jr. They'll be like, Hawkins Jr. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But I digress. All right, let's quickly get back to a bit of Arsenal chat because I still had that on my list. All right, so quickly to do a bit of Arsenal. Oh, before I even get to that, actually, I just before I even came on live, I saw that Man City have put a bid in for 121 million Great British pounds for Elliot Anderson. Let me just double check because literally as I came on, I saw it. So yeah, this is from Fabrizio. Breaking: Man City send 121 million official bid to Nottingham Forest for Elliot Anderson. What do you guys think about that? 121 million. Is that that's more than Rice? Is that more than Caicedo? That would make him the most expensive British midfielder of all time, right? Second bid has been sent for 106 million fixed fee plus 15 million add-ons. Okay, Forest rejected the bid. Forest rejected the bid. Why? What are they waiting for? What are they holding out for? That's incredible money. Forest are also aware of Manchester United's interest and ask for over 120. Okay, so they want over 120 million guaranteed, no add-ons. So City are saying 121 million, but we give you 106 up front, 106 on Park up front, and then 15 million add-ons. Forest are saying, no, big man, take back your 106 and 15 add-ons. We want 120 guaranteed straight cash, straight to the Monzo. 120 straight to the Monzo is ridiculous in this day and age where, add-ons and clauses and different. It's just a part of the deal. 120 Straight to the Monzo, straight to the PayPal for Elliot Anderson. British record. I don't see it. Man City, deals like this mess up the market. That's what I say. So, keeping in the transfer market talk. Again, guys, if you're here, please like. I want to see more likes, and please comment as well. Are you guys hearing about Vinicius rumours? So Arteta has reportedly said to Berta and the Arsenal team, I want Vinicius Jr. He is the missing piece to my attack. He is the key cog to my left side of the attack. He is key. Please try and get me Vinicius Jr. That report came out today. I'm not going to cite the sources everywhere. Multiple sources, multiple people have reported it. My opinion is, do I think Arteta wants Vinicius Jr.? Yeah, why not? Who wouldn't want him? Do I feel like if we sign Vinicius, he is the or a missing piece and could elevate our team? Yes, 100%. He's a quality player, world-class player. Do I think that Arsenal can get Vinicius Jr. out of Real Madrid? No, I don't, but I took a screenshot of something I saw earlier. Vinny has decided to see out the rest of his contract and leave Real Madrid for free if the club doesn't make a move. I guess the move being over his contract renewal. So it seems like Vinny and Real Madrid are probably trying to work out a deal for him, and maybe they're not meeting his terms. So is Vinny gettable? So if let's say Vinny's gettable, how much money do Arsenal need to put down for Vinny? All right, let's do a quick player profile. Obviously, we don't need to go into him in detail. We all know who he is and how good he is. But in terms of, what else? 25 years old. 25, well, he'll be 26 next month. Let me amuse myself with his stats from last season. 36 games in La Liga, 16 goals, 5 assists. Champions League, 14 matches, 5 goals, 6 assists. Again, I'm just amusing myself by reading his stats. Vinicius Jr. speaks for himself regardless of the stats. But, of course, I'll take him in a heartbeat. How much would he cost, though? And wages as well. And also, isn't it nice that Arsenal are actually, like, see when you hear links to certain players, isn't it nice to feel like, you know what, we can actually get that player? And for me, I feel like we do need, especially now after reaching the Champions League final and also winning the Prem, we do need that massive marquee signing. And I actually, the other day, was comparing front threes of the best clubs in the world. So Barca, Real, City, United, even, no, not Chelsea, sorry. So yeah, United, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Bayern, Real, PSG, sorry. And as quiet as kept, our front three, let me say what I think our best front three is, and you guys tell me whether or not that's our best front three, right? And just comparing our best front three to other teams, we don't have a great front three, you know. You see that, and this is might be a bad parallel, but you see that picture of you've got the stallion horse, but the back of the horse, right? The picture is like full on 4K, HD, great illustration, like, you know, a masterpiece of a drawing. Then the second half of the horse is like a kid drew it. All right? It's like the whole Ferrari and like a Fiat Punto put together. Even though our attack is way better than I'm describing, I feel like Arsenal is like bottom heavy. Our defense is the best defense in the world, in my opinion. But our attack, when you think about our attack in isolation, you think, yeah, Saka, you think Gyökeres or Havertz, you think Eze or Martinelli, Trossard, whatever. But so it sounds good, but when you put it on paper next to the other big teams in Europe, we come kind of low on the list. Despite reaching the final of the Champions League, we come quite low on the list. And I feel like our attack needs a massive upgrade. He needs a massive upgrade. So if we're to get a Vinicius or a Kvaratskhelia and I don't even think like a player like Barcola isn't, in my opinion, a massive upgrade. It feels like we discussed previously. It feels like another project signing. Can Arteta get the best out of Barcola? Right? That's what it feels like, as opposed to getting someone who is the finished article, who is going to hit the ground running, hopefully like a Vinny or like a Kvaratskhelia. It's the talks on Saka are scary. Sounds like he may need another surgery. When I missed this news, when was this reported, Chi? When? What talks are you referring to, and when were they released? You know what's so crazy? Actually, I keep thinking about this question I wanted to ask you guys. Right, I'll ask it now. So let's just say, and this obviously is a great segue from what Chi just said. Let's just say that Saka gets injured in the World Cup, right? And Arsenal have already done a fair amount of business already by the time this injury takes place. And he's essentially out for the season, or out for half of the season, or indefinitely, basically. Would you guys go into the season with Madueke, Max Dalman, and potentially keeping Ethan Nwaneri as an option for multiple positions across the front three as our right-sided options? Or is it no? Despite the fact that we bought Madueke as a right-sided attacker, Saka being injured doesn't now promote Madueke to first choice. Madueke is always going to be second choice, and we have to buy someone else to be first choice. Or is it Saka gets injured, Madueke, you're the captain now, Max and Ethan, you know what I mean? Or is it, if Saka's injured, we need to buy another starting caliber right attacker? Because from what Chi's saying, Tuchel said Saka can't train on consecutive days and they are managing his Achilles. You see? This ain't good news, man. Remember, Saka already had quite a, for his standards anyway, a bit of a mediocre season, right? Let me even bring up his stats. By the way, I'm not a stats person, by the way, so let me not even pretend. I just feel like doing it today. I'm not a stats merchant. Saka's stats this season: Premier League, 31 games, 7 goals. You know what's so crazy? Excuse me. Saka's had 2 very... Obviously, last season, I'll give him grace because he got injured. He got injured for a lot of it. But in the last 2 seasons, 24-25, 6 goals, 10 assists. Even though he was on his way, I think everyone believed that he might break the assist record because he was on his way. If he never got injured, he might have. This season, 7 goals, 6 assists. And obviously, you know, he didn't really particularly play well. Isn't it funny that, and obviously, again, this probably speaks to our squad depth. Isn't it funny that the season that we actually finally won the league, right? And this even might speak to, was it DC that said that Gyökeres might be our player of the season? Isn't it ironic that the season we finally won the league, the attacking players who were our best players, our main contributors, all had bad seasons and were injured for the majority, were in and out the team. And I'm talking about Odegaard, I'm talking about Saka, I'm talking about Havertz, right? And obviously, squad depth helped a lot because you had Eze come in, you had Gyökeres come in, and you had Madueke come in. So, again, kudos to the Arsenal board for really, you know, stocking up our team and doing what it took to create that depth we obviously needed. But it's so ironic that the season that we finally won the league, our best players were injured a lot, right? And even Martinelli didn't play well in the league. Jesus. I think Madueke will need to step up. I don't think they will be able to spin getting another player ahead of him unless Saka is missing the whole season. Let Martinelli, Jesus, and Madueke cook next season. G7 FFS. My friend, Jesus is out of here, man. Jesus is out of here. There's no way Jesus is here next season. So, if, again, this Saka news, right? This Saka news being this early, before we've even done any business, what it might do is it might change our transfer plans. But, again, the left side, I don't want the focus to take away from the left. The left side is still our priority, right? Even though we have more bodies there, the left is a priority, right? So I think take care of the left first. And if Saka is out for G7 is a op, what team do you support? G7? Talk to me. If Saka is out, then but what does it say to, or what does it do to Madueke to know that, you know, Saka is out and you guys are still going to sign someone over me? Like, you know what I mean? Does that affect Madueke's mentality, his confidence, to know that, you know, he's essentially being replaced, or he's not seen as the heir to the throne, so to speak. You have no goose in the gander. I don't think that's how it goes. Oh, United fan. Saka should rest during the World Cup because the whole comp is looking rubbish anyway. Yeah, the World Cup is looking brazy. I agree. Left midfield, right back, and striker are our priority. Yeah, left. The thing is, the left side debate is interesting right now because I feel like in the last few days it's been clear who the targets are. I'm hearing that Arsenal are still interested in Nico Williams, despite having a bad 1 or 2 years. Obviously, the Vinicius Junior reports come out today. You've got the Barcola links, which are the strongest at the moment. Morgan Rogers, but I think Morgan Rogers, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, he's not a left-sided option. I'll take that back. He's not the left-sided signing. Like, he isn't the marquee, standalone left-wing signing. If we get Morgan Rogers, he can play on the left, he can play in the middle, he can play in the right. He's like a utility player for the attack. So I don't think we sign Morgan Rogers and we don't sign an out-and-out left winger. So I'm taking him out the left wing conversation and putting him over here. So yeah, he's an attacking signing. But in terms of on the left, I think it's clear who our targets are. Barcola seems to be number one. Vinny's name is in the pot right now, and also Nico Williams is there as well. There might be a dark horse or someone I'm not thinking about, a joker in the pack. I can't really think off the top of my head who that might be. Let me know, guys. Is there anyone else in the market right now besides Nico Williams, Vinny, and Barcola? You can put Cava in there as well if you want to just throw him in there, but I don't think he's gettable. The Arsenal should be looking at. Nico has the death season last year, so we're good money. Whenever you can do it with Madueke. I think as fans, we see it as Wanyeri should, can, and could have played on the right this season. For some reason, Arteta, and I believe Wanyeri himself, has said he is a central player. So, I don't know. I guess plans change. So, if Saka was out for the season and they couldn't put money into a right-sided player, I think you definitely go into the season with Madueke, Wanyeri, and Dalman as your right-sided options. Those three are good enough, in my opinion. Gotts. Is it Gotts? How do you say his name? Gotts. Who did he play for again, Chi? I've seen that name before. DC, I would want the guy from Juve, but Juve are going to want an arm and a leg. That's Yildiz, right? That's Yildiz. Is Gotts the Ajax player? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Yildiz is there. I think he signed a new contract though. Yeah, I thought so. I thought he was an Ajax player. Who do I think Arsenal are going to get though? Like realistically, because it's Arsenal, I can't imagine we're going to get Vinicius or Kvaratskhelia. So I think it's out of Barcola, Nico Williams, or enter random name of player I didn't consider here. That's how I think it's gonna go. I feel like we do need a statement, because as much as, if you look at the last 2 years, right, who's been our biggest signing in regards to like name brand, cachet, star power? It's probably been Declan Rice. And he wasn't even that guy when we signed him. Like, he was that guy, but he wasn't that guy worldwide. Did he have the biggest? Who had the biggest name? Gyökeres, is it Gyökeres? Did Gyökeres have the biggest brand name cachet? Obviously, top scorer in Europe the year prior, but Gyökeres was never seen as a superstar, in my opinion. And I don't think he even is viewed as that now. Obviously, playing for Arsenal always raises your profile. You know, your followers increase. You know, the attention you get, the eyes on you increases. Your value increases, right? But for some reason, I feel like Gyökeres' stock hasn't risen, even outside of football. For some reason, I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think it's visible. Like, for example, if you look at Eze, I think it's quite clear. Because I'm seeing Eze doing ads here, ads there, this and the third. It's quite clear his market value, you know, off the pitch has really increased. Like, his marketability's increased. But yeah, I feel like it's time though that we had like a massive marquee signing. We haven't had that yet, where we've signed one of the best players in the world. Like, let's go and grab an Mbappe, a Vini, a Kvaratskhelia, a Dembele, right? Someone of that ilk. Like, that would be a huge statement. So I feel like if there's a season to do that, it's this season. You know, coming off the Champions League final. You know, is it even an Alvarez, right? Remember, Atletico have G7. Don't even start talking about Jared Bowen. Atletico have rejected bids from Barcelona and Real Madrid, right? And is it because the money they bidded isn't enough, or is it because they don't want to sell to one of their La Liga rivals? Will they sell to Arsenal? I'll say it now. If Arsenal get a Galactico style signing, a massive signing, I think it'll be Alvarez. I think if it isn't Alvarez, I don't think we get any of the other massive names. I think it's Alvarez or nothing. I think if it's not Alvarez, it's going to be just the second tier stars, the Barcolas, the Nico Williamses of the world. I don't think we're getting anyone above the stock value of Alvarez. Only because obviously Alvarez seems to be the only gettable person anyway. But yeah, I can't see a world where we get Vinny. Signing Vinny would be nuts. It'll be like when we signed Ozil. Like, I know I said Eze was the biggest signing for various reasons, but in terms of like, you know, Arsenal signing a star or someone who was extremely highly thought of, I think Ozil is the last player that we signed that was like, oh my God, we're signing Ozil from Real Madrid. Like, you know what I mean? That level of, you know, star player, that level of, I guess, critical acclaim almost like. Somerville would be cold for you, man, not going to lie. Gyökeres doesn't look like a top player, though. He doesn't. I'm interested to see what Gyökeres does in his second season, though. Alvarez is too much money. They want 180 million plus. But 180 what? Get the hell out of here. No way. But you know what it is about the whole Alvarez and Atletico stuff? Because of the way Atletico are moving online, like I'm not sure if it's the admin or what, but have you seen what they're doing online? Like they're trolling Real, they're trolling Barca, they're tweeting, jokes and making sarcastic comments. They're mocking the bids. They're just mocking this is kind of like new territory. I haven't seen this before, where a club is using social media to mock and ridicule, a team's bid and attempt to sign a player. This is new to me, so I'm not sure what the history or reasoning is behind Atletico being so petty with Barca and Real's approaches for Alvarez, but it's entertaining. But I don't feel like. I feel like Atletico want 180 million from Barca or Real Madrid. I think they're playing petty La Liga rival games with those two. I think if Arsenal came in, especially with, again, I'm not sure. Remember, Berta's from Atletico, right? Berta brought Alvarez to Atletico, and I'm not sure if Berta still has a great relationship with Atletico, but I feel like if we came in for Alvarez, it wouldn't be 180 million. I think if we came in for Alvarez, it would be a fair price. I think it'd be a fair price. I think Atletico are doing funny games, and they put a little bit of a rival tax on Alvarez if it comes down to Real or Barca. I don't really see them demanding 180 million, especially from a player who wants to leave, who has made it known he wants to leave as well. But they have beef with Berta. They won't do us favours. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so thanks for clarifying that. I did want to know whether or not Berta was still on good terms with Atletico. But even so, Julian Alvarez is not worth 180 million. This is, call a spade a spade. Alvarez is not worth 180. I even still have, as much as it might be displaced scrutiny, I still have my question marks around Alvarez. I just don't like the fact that he keeps bouncing from team to team in a short space of time, considering how great he is deemed to be. You're at City for 2 years, you leave. You're Atletico for 2 years, you leave. Why are teams so ready to let Alvarez go? I know there's variables that plays into him leaving both teams, or potentially leaving Atletico and why he left City. But for me personally, I just it's like there's something up here. Why is he leaving again? Like you just got to Atletico and now you want to bounce, or you know what I mean? Why hasn't Alvarez been an untouchable player? Like Man City saying hands off. You know what I mean? Atletico, they're doing it now, but essentially hands off to all parties involved. I don't think Alvarez is hands off if Arsenal come in for him. Also, the presidency of stuff with Real Madrid is interesting as well. Obviously, whatever his name is, we're saying he's gonna put in a 150 million bid for a Galactico-esque player. It isn't Michael Olise. It isn't, and it was Alvarez. The report was that it was Michael Olise, and I read that Olise would be open to the idea of going to Real. Of course he would, but Bayern were like, nah, he ain't getting nowhere. Oh, did you see the hat-trick he scored the other day? Rice just bagged for England. Nice. What's the score? Is it 1-0? See, Michael Olise, he's a talent, man. The second and the third goal he scored yesterday, madness. His future is bright as hell. Like Michael Olise is that guy. He is that guy, and he's on his way. I would love him at Arsenal. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? Listen, if Saka's out, bring me Michael Olise immediately, man. If Saka is out for the season, 150 M's on the table, please. Michael Olise. I think he'll leave Bayern Munich in a heartbeat to come to Arsenal. Back in the Prem, I think he supports Arsenal as well. Eze link up, all that. But yeah, Vinny, that cut in and whip from Olise is becoming his signature. Yeah, it is. But see his cutting and whip though, it's a bit different though. It just feels easy. Like, see the way he hits the ball and sometimes the way it goes in, it feels like he's personally, like, just, he's holding the ball in his hands and he's just putting it in the net. It just goes in with such ease and accuracy. I can't describe it. It's like he's just putting the ball in the net with his hands. Like, he's just like, it's just going in. That makes sense. It's just crazy. Yeah, effortless, basically. It's just effortless. Like, you think he's getting the Ballon d'Or this season? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, how much do you guys feel like the World Cup's going to play into who gets the Ballon d'Or? I'm trying to think. Who right now has had a great domestic season that the Ballon d'Or, sorry, not the Ballon d'Or, winning the World Cup would now make them a favourite to win the Ballon d'Or? I think Harry Kane's in that mix, right? If Harry Kane wins the World Cup, I think it makes him one of the favourites. I think people will throw Dembele in there, even though he hasn't had the best season. His name's still in the mix anyway. So I think if Dembele wins the World Cup and another Champions League and all La Liga trophies too, I think his name's in the mix. I think if France wins the World Cup and Michael Olise is a main contributor, his stock definitely rises. On the England front, if England win and Declan Rice is a main cog in that reason why, I think Rice's name rises to, high in the conversation too. So Kane, Rice, Dembele, Michael Olise, maybe not Mbappe. Who else? Yeah, I think I'll just give it to those guys. Who else? Who do you guys think, if they were to win the World Cup, it would really increase their chances of winning the Ballon d'Or? Right, but that player obviously has to already be a good Ballon d'Or shout now, right? To where the World Cup just, it cements it for them. I think that'd be interesting to see what you guys think about that as well. All right, what's the England score still? Still 1-0. I can't even see this game. When does the World Cup actually start as well, man? Why can't I find the score? England. Bloodfire. How can I? Oh, still 1-0. World Cup will be massive, but Olise has a chance. Probably Vitinha. Our World Cup starts tomorrow. For some reason, I just can't see Michael Olise winning the Ballon d'Or this season. I don't know why. I just don't see it. I think for me, I personally feel like the Premiership is, even though it's deemed the best league in the world, I feel like the Ballon d'Or, for some reason, in my opinion, favours players from outside of the Premiership. That's just the feeling I get. I feel like even though the Bundesliga is an easier league than the Prem, I just feel like players outside of the Prem are favoured more. It just feels that way to me. I don't know why. So the point I'm making is having a great domestic season without winning the Champions League in the Bundesliga or in Liga or even La Liga. La Liga, yeah, cool. A good enough reason for someone to win the Ballon d'Or. I think what I'm trying to say is, does the quality of the league and the quality of your opposition, despite your stats being crazy, does it play into, does the level of difficulty have a say in the Ballon d'Or race? Is kind of the point I'm trying to make. And I feel like if Michael Olise doesn't win the World Cup and he just has a great domestic season, for Bayern, for him in particular, I don't think that makes him, without the World Cup anyway, it doesn't make him a strong Ballon d'Or contender to me. I think he'll have to win the World Cup and be great for France. It's actually crazy that he could have played for England. I don't know why he doesn't play for England, to be fair. I know why, but I don't know why. He just seems like he's basically Michael Olise is a black boy from Ends. And I think his mum is either half French or born in France or something. I feel like he has more of a tie to England than he does. Obviously, he was born in England, grew up in England. But yeah, chose France. But I can't knock that decision, to be fair. Budge saying Dembele wins it if France does. You know what's so crazy? You see Ousmane Dembele. I love Ousmane Dembele. And I really want to see him win. Obviously not at the, not ahead of Arsenal, of course, right? So him winning the Champions League, it was. I'm happy. I'm sad we lost it, but I'm happy that he got it. If anyone else was going to get it apart from Arsenal, innit? Because I was a big fan of Dembele at Dortmund. I was a massive fan of his at Barca, and I really wanted him to, succeed at Barca. And I was actually annoyed with how his season but how his time at Barca went. I was a massive, massive Dembele fan. You know them players that you just want to see succeed? I really wanted Dembele to succeed. So when he went to PSG, I thought, this guy's took the money. He's going to play in an easy league. He should have tried and stayed at Barcelona. I was annoyed that he went to PSG. I saw it as him almost like going to Saudi. I kind of looked at Dembele going to PSG like him going to Saudi, like him giving up. Him like, you know what? Let me just go and play in an easy league, get paid at a high wage and just kind of see it out, really. Even though, PSG were and are competitive, I just saw him going initially as let me go and play for PSG. Let me go and play with Mbappe. It's easy, whatever. And I really hated that his Barcelona career never went the way it should have went or could have went, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, I've always liked him, but I think he's mad talented. And obviously, there was always rumors that he wasn't focused, he didn't train hard. Obviously the injury record was insane, right? And then the whole Mbappe, even though he's older than Mbappe, the whole Mbappe comparison as well, right? So to see him go from being labelled a flop, inconsistent, always injured, right, to now being a 2-time Champions League winner, Ballon d'Or winner, flourishing, right, and to have won 2 CLs and an Mbappe. I'm even mad. And a Ballon d'Or when Mbappe has no Ballon d'Ors and no Champions Leagues, it makes me kind of happy, right? Not only is Dembele thriving like he deserves to thrive, but also he's winning the trophies that I know Mbappe is dying for. And I just like that for him. You know what I mean? I like that for him. So yeah, I'm happy. If there was any team or player I would accept losing the Champions League to, it was PSG. Only because, of Dembele's involvement. I like Dembele. So if France win the World Cup and Dembele gets Ballon d'Or because of it, all the power to him, man. All the power to him. But I just feel like it's funny because at one point it looked like Mbappe was clear of Dembele. And for Dembele to have crawled out out the cave, out of obscurity to now have 2 Champions Leagues and a Ballon d'Or over over Mbappe is crazy. It's actually crazy, but he is a bit older than him, so I guess Mbappe still has time to win what Dembele has won. But I don't know, man. I don't feel like Dembele deserves the Ballon d'Or even if France win the World Cup, because I don't feel like he's had a great domestic season. Let me back up my claim with some numbers. What's the time? Guys, I'm going to wrap it up in 10 minutes, yeah? So once we reach the 2 hour mark, I'm shutting up shop. So if you guys got any questions, you want to quickly call in, 0203 8787 870. Hit me up, let's chat. But yeah, 10 more minutes, guys. So this season, 22 appearances, 10 goals, 7 assists. Again, they're not outstanding numbers. It's good numbers, don't get me wrong. But if you compare it to his Ballon d'Or winning season, right, in Ligue 1, 21 goals, 7 assists last season. This season, he played 7 less games in Ligue 1 this season, so we'll take that into account also. But 22 matches, 10 goals, 7 assists. In the Champions League last season, 15 appearances, 8 goals, 6 assists. This season, 13 appearances, same amount of goals, 8 goals and 2 assists. So I guess if you balance it out somewhat, he's had a decent season, I guess. If you balance it out and compare it to last season and just, take in his matches played into consideration, yeah, he's had another good season. But I feel like if you look at his league form in isolation, 21 goals last to 10 goals is a massive disparity. But if you average it out, right, all comps, games played, I guess this season isn't that much worse. But I feel like he hasn't had any maybe magical moments this season like he had last season. Dembele played like 10 games in the league and 1 player this season. Absolute joke of a league. Are you sure he played 10? Do you mean he started 10 games, RD? Or, because it says here that he played 22 games. So do you mean he started 10 games or he only played 10 games? Because I've seen that narrative that he only played 10 games, but it says he's played 22 games. He played 22 games in Liga. He played 13 in the Champions League. And he played a handful of cup games. So I'm seeing this narrative as well. Where does it say that Dembele only played 10 league games? Are we sure about that? Because there's no way someone who played 10 league games would be a Ballon d'Or contender. That's impossible. So yeah, can we get a... Okay, cool. He started 10, but he played 22. All right, cool. Yeah, to be fair, no. So I'm with you guys. I don't think Dembele should be. And when I even saw his name as being one of the front runners for the Ballon d'Or, I thought, really? So yeah, starting 10 games, playing 22. Yeah, I don't think that's not Ballon d'Or form. People are saying Declan Rice might deserve it as well. I don't know. Maybe I'm blind to Deckers, but I don't feel like Declan Rice has had a Ballon d'Or worthy season. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't paid him much attention. Maybe it's the old, I'm overlooking someone because he's consistently good. And when someone's consistently good, sometimes you overlook them. And maybe because his position isn't glamorous as well, maybe that's another reason why he isn't on my mind. But yeah, I don't know. Declan Rice to me isn't in the race for Ballon d'Or without the World Cup. So yeah. What if none of these players win the World Cup? I mean, who's the favourite then? Is it Harry Kane just based off of goals scored? It'll be interesting to see, man. It'll be real interesting to see. He's been a good player, but plays for Arsenal, unfortunately for him. Who do you... Oh, okay, I thought you were saying that as a rival fan. Yeah, Arsenal... Well, who was the last? No, we never won one, actually. I was going to say who's the last Arsenal player to win the Ballon d'Or. But Henry got robbed back in the day. They gave it to Nedved. I think, who are you guys' biggest Ballon d'Or snubs of all time? Mine's the easy one. Mine's definitely Henry. If he played for Madrid or Barca, he would probably win the Ballon d'Or. It's like I said to you or to you guys earlier. I feel like the Premiership, when it comes to European trophies, like the FIFA, is it the FIFA Player of the Year or what's it called? I think is it Player of the Year? Or no, the FIFA Best, is it the Best Player of the Year, right? And the Ballon d'Or. I think not only is Europe biased against the Prem, but I also feel like they're biased against English players as well. It's always the same names in the hat, despite what anyone in the Prem might be doing, especially if you're English. Salah's one was bad. What year was Salah's and who won it? Remind me, who won the year you think Salah should have won it? Just to jog my memory a bit. The Ballon d'Or. What was the Ballon d'Or called before the Ballon d'Or? When I was younger, it wasn't even, no one called it the Ballon d'Or when I was younger. What was it called when I was younger? I think it just had a generic name. What was it called before that? Yeah, the Ballon d'Or is normally awarded to players on Barca or Madrid. But I think, I think that's mainly because for the most of, the last 2 decades, the best players actually played for Barca or Madrid, right? So if Messi, so for example, let's just say Ronaldo never goes to Real Madrid and he stays at Man United. Do you think that Ronaldo playing for United to the same level, let's just say Ronaldo was playing the same, putting up the same numbers, same moments, right? Same quality, same everything for Real, but done that for United, right? Do you feel like is he still overlooked? Or does he get those awards still as a United player, right? So, by sheer coincidence, Messi and Ronaldo, who have cleaned up that award for the past 2 decades, played for Barca and Real. But if Ronaldo stayed at United, would it be a Ronaldo versus Messi still, but Ronaldo played for United, right? If Ronaldo stayed at Man United, he wouldn't win 5 Ballon d'Ors. You really think so? So you really think that, I like this conversation, so you really think that, I'm not disputing it, that the team you play for, regardless of how you play, really plays a part. So if you take Ronaldo, right, don't take any of his fame away, don't take any of his, cachet, gravitas, everything. The same Ronaldo we've known for the past God knows how many years, just take that same player and he never left United. So do you feel like the whole Messi versus Ronaldo debate, in terms of who's better, obviously you wouldn't have the El Clasico battles or the La Liga battles between the two, but just them as individuals, you feel like the GOAT debate wouldn't have been the same if Ronaldo stayed at United. So it was him going to La Liga and him being a direct rival to Messi in the same league, which really elevated that debate between those two, right? Because I still feel like if Ronaldo stayed at United and carried, remember what he'd done the season he left? Or remember, what was it the season before he left? Was it 40 goals? Like, those numbers can't be ignored, no matter where you are, especially if you're in the Prem. So, for me, if he stayed at United and carried on the same trajectory as he was prior to him leaving, I still think the Messi Ronaldo debate is still there, strong. But obviously, I guess being in the same league, it elevates it, and it's better for the rivalry when you play in the same league as your main rival for who's the best player, for sure. But I don't think, you might be right. Maybe he doesn't win 5 Ballon d'Ors, right? So hold on, remind me, did he win any Ballon d'Or while he was at United? Remind me, or did all his Ballon d'Ors come once he left United for Real Madrid? It was just the best player award from FIFA. Yeah, I remember. So what year did they decide to start calling it the Ballon d'Or? So he won 1 at United. Okay, cool. So 1 at United, 4 at Real. Yeah, I think the fact that he won 1 at United showed that, and also, put it this way, even though I think we both feel that the Premiership is overlooked and the European, the powers that be, they look more closely at, La Liga or even Serie A, right? That Ronaldo being Portuguese, basically not being English, helped, because does anyone in the chat, even United fans, feel like was Rooney close to winning the Ballon d'Or once? Was he ever in the top 3? Was there a year that Rooney might have been snubbed? And right, remember, my eyes are not on Rooney like that, so I wouldn't remember. But was there ever a year? Last point before I go. Was there ever a year that Rooney was in the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or, or was there a year where Rooney should have won it and was robbed or came close? Just before I go, last thing I want to know quickly from you guys. So, does anyone remember that? Any United fans in the building? RD, was there any year that Rooney should have won the Ballon d'Or, could have won the Ballon d'Or, was overlooked? Because again, I'm trying to prove this whole, English players are overlooked, because I know Rooney was balling at one point, right? I feel like he would have maybe won 2 Ballon d'Ors and been the best player in the Premier League, but he wouldn't go toe-to-toe with Messi, especially after Sir Alex Ferguson left. But yeah, I hear that. But the Rooney point, does anyone feel that way? Anyone feel that Rooney should have won, could have won a Ballon d'Or, but was overlooked? Even though it's cool, I just want to kind of gauge that, because I don't particularly remember. But I know, Rooney definitely was, one of the best players in the Premiership for a while. So I'm sure he was in contention. But I want to know whether or not he was in the top 3 or top 5. But yeah, all right, guys, let's call it a day there. Just a few bits and bobs before I go. I've got a run that I'm doing on the 20th of June. We're going to be running from the New Black. So it's Saturday, June the 20th. We're going to meet at the New Black, 9 a.m. All right, bag drop will be here. Then we're going to run 5K, easy pace. I know you guys, obviously, some of you before asked me about my running journey. So, if anyone here is a newbie, wants to get into running, right, wants to do their first 5K, even if you're intermediate, even if you're, an expert, this is for you, right? Easy pace, conversational pace. We're going to do a very light run, 5K, in and around the Shoreditch area. How can you do the link? I'll send Brent the link, but the link's out. So the link is in my bio on Insta, Big Man Use, and also in my fitness brands page. The run is actually for my fitness brand called Level 4. So if you go to Level 4 Lifestyle on Insta, the link is free as well, by the way. It's a free run, so all you need to get a ticket just so I can, I know numbers, but yeah, it's free. Come down if you want to run 5K, easy pace. So don't be, if you're not a strong runner, don't be discouraged. It's easy pace, conversational pace, So if you want to do your first 5K, or you just want to kind of, add this to your training for the week, come down June the 20th, meet at 9 a.m. at the New Black, and then we'll do 5K from here and come back here. What did she say? No, I don't think so. Rooney was good, but not on that level. See my point. But if Rooney played for Madrid or Barca, he would be on that level. Yeah, so Chi, what you said, I think Rooney was on that level, to be fair. I'm not saying he was Ronaldo and Messi-esque, but players below that level have won before. But if Rooney, like RD is saying, played for Barca or Real, the narrative on him would be way different. And the last thing before I go, guys, Game 5, we'll be watching the Game 5 here at the New Black. So if you guys want to come down and watch Game 5 with your boy, it's my birthday as well, so another reason to come down. 1:30 a.m. I think the program starts, and then obviously the game starts around 2 a.m. So if you guys want to come down, watch, party in brackets, more like a watch along. So yeah, the New Black, come down this Sunday night. We'll be here watching Game 5. Hopefully the Knicks are up 3-1, and it's an elimination game for the Spurs, and we can celebrate a Knicks win. But yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. Most likely, I want to make sure I have a consistent day and time, so you guys obviously know when I'm here, so we can kind of build that relationship. So let's say again next Wednesday. Let's say next Wednesday. If it changes, it changes. But let's say next Wednesday, same time. Yeah. And yeah, we'll have a whole host of things to discuss, hopefully, and we'll go from there, man. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.